Hi everyone, my name is Martin Torres. This lesson is explore Greek views on matter, motions, and the universe, including models by Exodus, Aristotle, Aristarchus, Ptolemy, Copernicus, Bra, and Kepler. Now, it's applicable to various educational contexts and can be adjusted to match the textbook's order. I'm the creator of what will be discussed about lessons, namely Greek views of matter, motions, and the universe. So, let's start. After going through these video lessons, you are expected to, at first, explain how the Greeks knew the Earth is spherical. Then, second is the site of exact astronomical phenomena known as astronomers before the advent of telescope. And the third, explain how Brahe's innovations and extensive collections of data in observational astronomy have the way to Kepler's two discoveries of his law of planetary motions.
Once again, my name is Kate Andrea M. Soria and I will discuss about the Greek views of matter. This is the Greek history. It all started as a philosophical concept developed by the Greek around the 6th century BC. It wasn't until the 3rd century BC when Hellenistic astronomy concluded that the Earth was in fact physically spherical. Nagsimula daw ang Greek history around 6th century BC hanggang 3rd century BC hanggang sa mapatunayan daw ng Hellenistic astronomy na ang mundo ay isa pa lamang spherical. There's no real explanation at first on how Greek come up with this conclusion, other than there is observation of the change of stars of the travelers. Pythagoras and Plato taught their followers that the Earth is round, however had no scientific proof of justification to their claim. The round Earth theory didn't get proper explanation until Aristotle made important observation about it 384 322 BC. Yan ang nasabi ko, merong dalawang tao na si Pythagoras and Plato na kung saan pinakalat nila sa kanilang mga tagapasunod na ang mundo ay bilog. Ngunit wala silang kakayahan o wala silang sapat na pruweba para patunayan ito. Hanggang sa gumawa si Aristotle ng importanteng obserbasyon about dito. Ginawa ito ni Aristotle noong 384 hanggang 322 BC.
The second is Aristotle's observations. The first is every portions of Earth tend towards the centers until by compressions and convergence they form a sphere. The second are travelers going south to see southern constellations rise higher above the horizons. The third is the shadow of the Earth on the motions during a lunar eclipse is round. Based on my explanations, Aristotle observed Earth's spheres formations due to compressions and convergent southern constellations rising above horizons and round shadows on the moon during the lunar eclipse.
Which planet are easily seen in the sky without the aid of telescope? Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn are easily seen in the sky without the aid of telescope. This planet can be easily confused with a star and are only seen at the specific times of the day. The best time to look for this planet will be before sunrise and after sunset. Babylonian and Egyptian civilization used a primitive version of a sundial called Geomon in systematically observing the motion of the sun by looking at the shadow that the Geomon cast. They were able to observe that the sunrise in the southern part of the sky reaches its highest point in midday and sets in the western of the sky. Also, they recorded that the points where the sun rises and the set on the horizon varies over a year, and this variation happen periodically. They observed that these variations are related to weather and so concluded that seasonal change in climate happen during a course of a year. Summary explanation. Planets like Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn can be easily seen in the sky without telescope. This planet can be easily confused with stars and are best seen before sunrise and after sunset. Babylonian and Egyptian civilization used geoman sundials to observe the sun, motion, and seasonal changes in climate. Observing the sun rising and setting point over a year.
The fourth is phases of the moon. Ancient peoples have observed that the moon changes its path and its appearance within a period of 29.5 days. The next is they observed that the moon changes its appearance from the similar circular disc to full circular disc. These phases of the moon is the basis of the ancient calendar. So, during my explanations, the moon undergoes various phases ranging from thin semicircular discs to full circular discs, which are crucial for ancient calendar and their path changes. Okay. The fifth is the lunar eclipse. Beside their observations in the different phases of the moon, they also notice that there are times which the moons or the part of it seems to be covered by the shadow for a moment. A lunar eclipse occurs when the Earth casts its shadows on the Moon when the Earth is between the Sun and the Moon. A phenomenon behind of 8 lunar eclipses, such as this is known as lunar eclipse, wherein the Moon changes into a dark or blood red color. For my explanations that I realized that I understand within the lunar eclipse, a lunar eclipse occurs when the Earth casts its shadows on the moon, causing it to changes into a dark or blood red colors, observing the phases of the moon and the occasionally appearing covered by a shadow behind of it. The sixth is solar eclipse. Aside from lunar eclipse, the occurrence of the solar eclipse was also observed. Solar eclipse occurs when the moon is between the sun and the earth and the moon partially or completely blocks out the sun. Due to these definitions, that the solar eclipse occurs when the moon partially or completely blocks out the sun, occurring alongside a lunar eclipse. The seventh is the motions of the stars. It was also observed that the stars appear to be attached to a celestial sphere that rotates around all axes in one day. And then, the axis intersects the celestial spheres at a point in the northern skies and presently close to the northern stars, Polaris, and also the constellations positions in the night sky vary depending on that time of the year. On the summary about that, the stars appear be attached to be celestial spheres rotating around the axis currently close to Polaris in the northern skies, and their positions vary based on year.
Visibility of planets. Astronomers have discovered that Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn are planets because they have noticed that the stars are in a fixed position with respect to each other, like how constellations are always grouped, but they're very bright stars that change position periodically. These stars do not belong to any group of constellation in the sky. Thus, they are called wanderers or planets in Greek terms. What is said here about the planets is that the astronauts discovered that the different planets they noticed that the stars are said to be fixed in one place only because they are said to be in position to respect each other, like how are always grouped the constellation in the sky. They are said to be called wanderers because it is a planet in Greek terms.